What's up, guys? Texardic here with another look at some of the figures we got in this week. Today we're looking at the new DC, I can't say multiverse, I guess a DC line of figures from Mattel. We got Robin, the Flash, the Joker, and Batman. Now, basically, of course, everybody knows that McFarlane has lost the license to DC. Some of it's bittersweet, some of it is sad. I mean, it's back and forth, you know what I mean? Especially with me, of course, everybody knows, or I am a big DC person, more so than Marvel. Of course, no hates on Marvel. I just think of Marvel, for me, it's I barely got into them after the Avengers. It wasn't, well, of course I liked X-Men the most, but I just never really into them. But DC, ever since I was a little boy, I was all down for DC. But anyway, the problem with McFarlane, of course, is I think there's some hits and misses with them, a lot of frustration, especially with trying to collect some of the figures. It's hard to do. And then the fact of the matter is that the lack of figures or lack of characters, I mean, he basically held off showing off stuff, and then, like I said, the ones that you want, you have to pay more money for. It was a little frustrating. And of course, in some of them, how many Batman? I love Batman. Batman's my favorite of all the DC characters, but there was a million Batman. So, I understand he's a seller, but come on, man, really? So anyway, this line here is suited for the younger kids, of course, yeah. Of course, younger kids go out and buy toys still. That's hard for me to believe. I mean, I know, if you have a kid, you're for a birthday, you're gonna go buy him a Batman figure or something, but kids nowadays are not interested in toys as much anymore. It's there's really honestly no debate, you know what I mean? So of course, as an adult, I'm gonna collect the figures that I think are cool. And actually, when I saw a review on these, and I was actually very impressed. So I said, you know what? They're on Amazon, $12. Let's buy them. So here they are. So of course we have Robin, the Flash, Joker, and Batman. It's kind of funny how on these two it's just their names, but on those two it says new, which is interesting. Now this is the first wave. Of course, there's going to be a collector version, and once those get revealed, I think they're going to review them at San Diego Comic-Con. I will definitely post those up as fast as possible on my social media. Like I said, I'm going to the Comic-Con, which is really cool, exciting. Let's see what they have in store. But for now, we're going to go ahead and look at these. So let's go start with Robin. But, let's just look at the packaging real quick. As you can see, there's Robin. He looks really good. I'm serious. These look really nice, I have to admit, compared to what a kid... for instance, here's an example. The Masters of the Universe movie figures, the kids line, those look like crap. I would not buy those. I would not even go out and give someone that. Now, the Chronicles, those look cool. So this kind of, in a sense, gives me a little bit of Chronicles. Of course, when I open it, we'll see a little bit more, and that's when you can really tell by articulation and stuff how well it does. But it looks really good. You got the character on the side here, and I guess this is basically the Drake version of Robin. And this is here, Robin, new action figure, and on the back you can see him there. There's a little. So this is Super Villains, which is kind of interesting because this is a hero. This is not a villain. There's only one villain on the, and that's Joker. So that's weird. So series 1, of course, this is beat up. It's okay. I'm gonna open it anyway. But this is Robin. All right, let's go and look at the Flash. And I've been wanting a Flash figure from McFarlane in my collection for a very long time, but I just really haven't got one. And it's cool because now, you know, I think I'm going to be happy with this. I do have the original DC Classics Flash, which is cool, but this one looks really neat. Look at the character portrait there in the back. This looks really good. I'm really surprised of how well these look. Again, it says super villains, which is interesting. Nothing on this description says DC super villains. It doesn't say. It doesn't say anything. I don't know what's going on with the packaging. But here is Flash running through the city, so that's interesting. And then we got Mr. Batman. Look at him, I'm telling you, these look really good. He feels kind of like a little heavy, not heavy, but like he has some weight to him, which is interesting. Batman. Let's see, it says super villains again. Wow, this box looks a lot different. The back looks a lot different than this one, which is interesting. It says again, super villains again, but you have, empowering generations through play. That's maybe this is the dual language one. Because this doesn't have this. Yeah, this must be the international one because this has different languages on this. As you can see, it says it has a lot of different languages. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting. So but anyway, here's Batman. Here's the character. Now a lot of people are talking about this. The sign, the signal on his chest is not the same, which I don't understand that. I'm a little confused too. Why you have it advertised as that and you're not here? But anyway, and then last but not least, we have the Joker, and this is actually one of my. I do have the Joker from the Batman '89 one, but this, in terms of a traditional Joker, even in the material in the Classics line, DC Classics line, I haven't got a Joker. So this is, a little bit of my first attempt at getting a Joker. Look at the cool portrait of him on the. I don't know why they put that in the back. They should have put it in the front. But you can see all the stuff he comes with. So yeah, very interesting. So let's get these guys out of the packaging and get a closer look at the DC new line of superhero villain figures. We'll be right back. All right, let's get started with Robin. Loving the colors, basically traditional colors that he had back in the day with the reds and the greens. Two different tones of greens, the yellows. He looks phenomenal. I mean, I'm very surprised for a $12 figure how well this guy looks. So let's get a closer look. As you can see that face sculpt, you got that Drake hairdo, then you got the mask, the green mask, and that smirk, the smiling smirk he has. Going down to that yellow collar with the cape coming in the back. The red bodysuit with the green shoulder pads, the big R on there. This is very detailed considering that it is, a $12 figure. You got those green gloves on him, the yellow utility belt that not very movable. You got some places for the accessories back here, which is really cool. Got the hole. The only thing I don't understand, usually they save these peg holes for backpacks and stuff, or but for him, I don't know. He doesn't come with a backpack, and there's really nothing in to put back there. So I think this is the only part I don't like about this figure, because it's a big time eyesore. Of course, you're facing the figure like this, you're not really gonna notice, but that is a little bit, I'm confused with why. Even if they left that peg hole there, they could have just put the cape without it. So I don't know. But the cape is really cool because it's soft goods. And, the one thing about McFarlane Toys is they kept doing those plastic capes, and I couldn't stand it. And I was wondering why they kept doing the plastic capes. But, I don't think it costs a lot of money. I mean, this is, like I said, $12.99 figure. And you have this cool cape. I mean, it's nice. You know what I mean? It's really, really nice. It's really, there's no bendy wire or nothing like that, but it feels great. I'm telling you, this is pretty cool. Like, so basically when they do the regular line or the collector line, I'm very curious. Now you got a different shade of the green on the pants. Um, and the crazy thing about it is this is double jointed, which is really awesome considering, now of course this is not double jointed. But the articulation moves pretty well. I mean, you can pose them up like this, the head, run around, rotator. I mean, look all the way down, look all the way up. I mean, now the body, of course, there's no ab crunch or anything like that. So there is a swivel though, but still, I mean, you can still get them in some pretty good action poses. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, of course, back in the day, this is how the figures were. Oh, I'm wondering, I injured my finger, so I'm wearing this on here. So if you're noticing all this flashiness coming out. But anyway, so yeah, it's not terrible, to be honest. Is there a rocker joint? No, there's not really much of a swivel going on the foot. But that's not bad. I mean, for $12.99, that's just pretty neat, I think. So let's see all the accessories now. He does come with quite a bit of stuff, even though it's really kiddish, I guess you can say. Meaning these are like, they're not as like G.I. Joe classified accessories kind of thing, but it's pretty cool. He does come with his little like these plastic these plastic accessories. I guess he has a staff here. He has 2 of those. He has the batarangs there, and then I guess these are more saw thingies, and then some handcuffs. And it comes with also this plastic place so you can hold all this stuff. That's really neat. So I didn't know about these peg holes here, so you can put some of the stuff on here if you want to add some of the other figures, because Joker and Flash didn't come with this little locker system, so you can, store stuff on here and to that. So I mean, like, for $12.99, I mean, it comes with a lot. I mean, that's really pretty neat. All right, so let's get the next figure out. And we're just gonna go run through them because, they all kind of the same size. And we're gonna go ahead and let's move this out the way and get Flash out. So now Flash, I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite characters from back in the day. And this guy also looks phenomenal. The bodysuit, that color, and the yellows just pop. Like, they come out really nice. Like, and look at this head sculpt. I mean, look at that. I mean, for a $12.99 figure, you actually have some detail in that face. That face looks really good. And then you got the logo of the Flash there on the chest. Of course, like I said, the only, of course, now, like, this is a little awkward, but I don't think I'm gonna be posing him like that anyway. But other than that, and I didn't even notice that there's a swivel in the hips too. Is that also a Robin? Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. So you can swivel that too. That's really, I'm serious. This is really cool. Also double jointed, which is nice. And there's no swivel in the boot or anything like that. It's just solid. But $12.99 compared to, let me get this guy out, to $22.99. You have, well, actually, you know what? Let me get the Flash out, because I do have the Flash figure. That's actually been a better comparison. I know I don't mean to compare, but, here, let's take this one out. I just forgot I had Flash here. I mean, considering, of course, they're 2 different figures, but this one was $20, and you have so much limited articulation. You can't really do much. As opposed to here, you got swivels here, you got this here. I mean, seriously, like, this is definitely a better buy. Of course, this is from the Super Friends, but if you wanted to do Super Friends with these, you can, and you get a better price on this. I think, I mean, look at that. I always got a frustration with that old man butt syndrome he has there. Just, there's even more detail on the back. You got the muscles popping out here, the back muscles. You know, the arms. Look at you. You have like the tricep muscles there popping out there. I mean, you know, like I said, like, you know, this was a $20, $22 figure. And this, you got more. This only came with like a little comm link. Of course, this one's heavier, I guess. But still, you know, these are pretty awesome. I mean, you know, of course, I love the Super Friend line. And I'm going to always keep those. But I'm just like, this is impressive. Like, I'm very, very curious to see what other characters are coming. So, all right, let's get my next guy out. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, the accessories. He does come with several other, just like I said, like the other one. He does come with a lot of other accessories. So basically, with the Flash, you can kind of get him going in a fast, you know, because Flash, when he runs, he's like super fast. You know, he's faster than light, I guess. And you can basically, you know, put him. These go against the behind the feet, you know, to give him that flair of going, you know, the running pose, you know what I'm saying, which is really cool. Now this one goes in the back of his back where the hole where actually it really works to, you know. Now the only thing is I would assume these go on the arm, but I don't know where. Unfortunately, there's no peg to put it, so I'm a little confused about these two blades. You know, I was trying to figure it out yesterday, but I don't see where. I would have thought that maybe this would have been attached to the arm, you know, to go. So I don't really. That's the only thing I don't know where these two go. But other than that, I mean, you got those going. Let me zoom out a little bit. So you got them running, you know, this, like I said, I would assume this would have been for the arm, but there's no like peg hole or there's no attachment. And then he does come with this. So I guess, you know, and that does have an attachment for the arm. So, I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, maybe I'll do some research on these two, where they go, but $12.99 for all this compared to $22 for the other, you know, DC. I mean, they're. I mean, I can just see. I mean, let's really think about this. Like, these are $12.99, and they're just a kids line. This is the kids line. You know, this is what supposedly they want the kids to buy, right? When you go to a birthday party, this is the stuff you're gonna get them. You know what I mean? And the kids, of course, will love it, right? Especially if they're younger, you know. But like, as an adult, as a collector, I love these, and I'm actually looking forward to the series too. So, like I said, the bang for the buck is insane. Like, considering how toys cost nowadays, if this was just all we were gonna get, I'm satisfied, to be honest. All right, let's go ahead and look up my main man, Mr. Batman. Who I think looks spectacular, to be honest, compared to a lot of Batmans that I've seen. And this is always like the classic blue-gray suit that he's come out with. And to this day, for McFarlane, I haven't got one yet. I mean, I think I did pre-order that. I guess the Vault Collection one. I think it is a blue. I think it's this one. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I do have the bloody one that came with the Bane, but the only other Batman, I do want the Mafex one. I'm gonna get the Mafex one eventually, but the only one I have is of course we have the McFarlane DC Classics version, or the Super Friends version, but the other one is the Classics Mattel version, and I'm not gonna bring that one down because it's really high in the shelf. But so it's really cool that I'm finally, you know, getting something different. You know what I mean? Yeah, just wanted to show that. But anyway, this guy looks spectacular. Like, he looks great. Like, look at his face sculpt. Like, that's Batman. You know, he even has his eyes whited out. I mean, this cowl looks great. Like, he looks good. The only thing I can say, and I think a lot of people, is the bat signal should be that classic, you know, like this one right here, that should be there. So I don't know, because I think this is the nightfall signal from what I remember. It still looks cool. I'm not really angry about it, but it would have been better if we had this one, especially since the artwork on the packaging had the other one. But you know, as you can see, there's some texture here too, which is really interesting. You can see those muscles on the abs. Did the texture have on Robin, or did it? Yeah, no, actually, you know what? The texture was on Robin too, but of course they're different. Like, they're not the same. You know, they could have said, oh, well, let's just use the same buck. But of course, Robin is a skinnier, smaller guy. You know, but they still have that texture on the sides. So, you know, let's even look at the backs compared to each of them, except for that ugly hole. But you know what I mean? They use the different backs. For the whole body, and for that texturing, and I should have mentioned it with Robin, but it's all over the leg, which is really neat. I mean, that's really cool. Let me see if it flashes back real quick. Flashes, you know, let's see if they use the same. No, not really. So that's pretty unique. Another thing that I have to admit, they're using different bodies for some of these figures. Now, of course, you know, if we get another Batman, he's gonna have the same body, right? But this body is different than Flash's. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the companies use use the same body in just different colors or whatever. So that's really interesting that this is even different than the other ones. So that's really cool. Just like on his utility belt, just like on Robin, you have those pegs here to put stuff on here. And of course, again, just like Robin, that hole in the cape, this just looks horrible. I wish it wasn't there. I wish it was just regular, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really, really scared that Superman's gonna have his logo there, and there's gonna be a big old hole in it. I hope it's not like in there. That's gonna ruin it. But $12, $12.99, I'm not really mad about it. If I paid more than that, I would. He has the same articulation like the other figures, but look at, he has a lot of cool little details. There's some paint rub right there. His armbands had these little spikes, plastic spikes, so kids can't hurt themselves, I guess. I really want to know which story where a national story where a kid hurt themselves or got killed by an action figure. I really want to know, because they make a big deal about it. You know, I don't know, if you know your kid is gonna eat stuff that they're not supposed to eat, don't buy them this shit. I'm just saying. Anyway, there's the belt buckle. It looks like it can come off, but I'm not gonna mess with that. And then the blue shorts, the trunks, and like I said, the legs have all these little features, and muscles are here. You can see the muscles on his legs. You know, it's through the body, which is pretty interesting. You know, and then of course those boots, which are, yeah, I mean, these are the Batman boots. You know, there's, like I said, like, it would be cool if we had that much swivel, but I'm okay with it. Now, just like Robin, he did come with the locker system and a bunch of other accessories. And you can peg on here. He came with, I think, 3 batarangs. Yeah, 3 batarangs and 3 flash grenades, and then the gun. And then some boomerangs there too. And then this thing, I think, is I guess he shoots the gun out. I don't know what that thing is. And then 2 landmines. But like I said, it's really cool that you can actually put those back here. I mean, if you really wanted to, like, it's really cool, because at first, like I said, the Joker and the Flash don't come with this thing. So, especially with Joker, because when you see Joker in a minute, there's a lot of accessories with him. So I think it's beneficial to, you know, take some of this stuff off, put it here, and you can put those accessories on him, you know, if you wanted to. So it's really, really cool. I mean, like I said, this is really, really neat. Oh wait, there's a knife. Oh, there was a knife that came with Batman. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So you can put that there. And you know, and one thing I do admire and I like the fact that, you know, just like JoJo Classified, you can accessorize and put stuff on there, and I'm hoping that the Deluxe has all that stuff. But These are freaking awesome. All right, finally, my favorite character in the line, and finally, I get a version of this Joker in my collection. I don't know why I've never got the DC Classics version of a Joker, and he's still on my radar. I'm still gonna grab him as much. In terms of McFarlane, I only got the '89 version. I haven't got any other Jokers because I just haven't been really satisfied. So this one, look at this. Look at how detailed that face sculpt is. This one is he's awesome. Like, look at the different colors. You got the greens, that, you know, orange and the purples. The suit looks freaking awesome. It got the coattails down here, got the little buttons down here. I mean, and you got a little flower there. Look at how cool that face sculpt is. I'm very, very impressed. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And there's a swivel here for him to move this way. You know, there's limited articulation, but again, he has that double joint in this too, so that's cool. You know, nothing on the feet, of course, obviously, but look at that purple suit, the way the suit hangs. And of course, this happens with a lot of figures, that the color for the joints are different. But it doesn't look as horrible as other figures were. But I mean, you know, the only thing, you know, and he doesn't have a peg hole. That's neat. So hopefully Superman doesn't. I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope they leave. But this guy looks freaking awesome. And he does come out with a rollout also, which is very impressive. He comes with this, I guess his axe, his battle axe with the clown face on it, which is pretty cool. And like I said, like, it's really just basic plastic on this, so it's not a lot of too much crazy detail, but that's really cool, you know what I mean? Considering he comes with these landmines like Batman, so 3 of them. So I guess he puts them out there and he blows people up. And then he comes with these missiles, which have the little Joker face on them. Look at that. That's really cool. He comes with 2 others, but he comes with this crazy gun that you actually place the missiles in, and you can shoot. You can shoot it, and then you just put the other, you know, it only shoots 1 at a time, but I mean, that's cool. Like, this is, I mean, like, I love these little action features, and definitely for kids. Kids are gonna love this, but look at how cool this gun is. It has a big old ha on it. And then the big teeth. This is insane. $12.99. That's another reason why I went ahead and said, yeah, let's get them. So that's really, really, really cool. And I just think that's pretty freaking awesome. Like I said, like, I love this thing. Now, another cool thing that I think, you know, one thing about McFarlane, and like I said, I'm not putting him down. I'm not putting those figures down. I know there's people like them, whatever. It's no big deal. But one thing they like to do is Jokerize all the characters, and you know, they give you a Batman and they Jokerize them by putting, you know, Jokerism is basically putting the makeup and everything on each figure. Well, this guy does it completely different. Instead of, you know, they could have done head sculpts, but they did masks instead. And instead of them releasing, you know, the Flash and Batman and Robin, another version with the same body and everything, they just did these masks. So all the, you know, and they're all Jokerized, which is crazy, you know. And the thing is, what you do is you just put them over the figure. So if you wanted to, you know, change these to Jokerized, you got it. I mean, that looks insane. That's cool. That's funny. You know, if you want, and you just put them over the head of the figure, and then you got Jokerized Batman. You got Jokerized Batman. You got the Flash. Get that out of the way. And then you got, I lost Robin. No, he's got all this stuff here. I really like Robin's, because Robin's is cool because you can actually put it underneath the hair. But like, how funny is that? let's go and pull these together, and I'll do my final thoughts on the DC Mattel core line of superheroes and one supervillain. We'll be back. All right, here are my final thoughts on this DC Wave 1 of Mattel takeover, or actually just going back to Mattel, of these superheroes versus, well, Batman, Robin, Flash versus Joker. All in all, I can say that this is a really fun and cool line. I really, for $12.99, like, seriously, pretty badass. I mean, I like I said, I love DC. I've always been a big fan of DC. I can't really say much about the movies, but it is what it is on that part. But this is a spectacular line. This is really, really fun. I love the way these look. Joker stands out the most to me, but he looks good. I mean, like I said, this is $12.99. You know what I mean? I just, the expectations are, I'm ready for wave 2, and I don't even know who's in wave 2. I know for sure Superman is, but who else? Like, is Lex Luthor in it too? Maybe. Definitely gonna get wave 2. But yeah, these are really cool. Like I said, I know when I go to this toy store and I buy a G.I. Joe Classified and I'm paying 20 some bucks for it, something, $30 for it, and I walk out of there like an adult, like, okay, this is for me, kind of in a sense. And then, but when I walk out with a $12.99 figure, I'm thinking, well, this is just for the kids, right? But no, this is for me too, because this is really neat. This is really, really cool. So yeah, this is wave 1. You can get them on Amazon. I know Batman sold out for a minute, and they were charging like $30. Those, if you ever see the second price, if it's double, that's basically a seller selling their stuff, trying to get extra money off of that. So they will come in hand. They've been hitting Target stores, so they're there. Don't be ashamed to collect them. I'm really curious though if they're gonna do any females in this line, because they always say that little boys don't collect the female versions of this, characters. So I don't know, but it'd be kind of interesting to see a Wonder Woman in this, and Catwoman, and all the other cool female characters. So hopefully. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you guys like these, or are you just waiting for the adult versions, the collector editions? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen,
make sure you like, share, and subscribe.